Welcome back to Talking with Trish. Today I have on one of my favorite people, an amazing artist and now actress, Molly Mae Lockhart. How are you today, darling?
I am great. How are you doing?
I've been better, but I have been worse. So the first thing I wanted to get into is what started you getting interested in being an artist? Is that something you've always wanted to do?
Pretty much, it was something I always intrinsically did. I was the typical kid in class in nursery school or kindergarten, as you guys call it, in elementary school. I was the kid that would draw. Um, I think because I was like quite a quiet, sort of introverted child, it was just something I was drawn to. Even as I like grew up and made friends and things. It was just something I've always done. And then I naturally wanted to find ways to pursue that creativity as a career because I love the idea of just being able to express stories and, you know, like your sort of inner worlds and creations and like creative ways. Like that just fascinates me. Like my other big dream was to be an actor. And I did like do like a lot of clubs involving acting and things, but I think I felt like I was too introverted, too shy. I'd never make it, kind of thing. And, came back to pursue that as an adult. So that's always fun.
And I think, funnily enough, that was exactly how I was growing up. So I think, things can definitely change and you can definitely part of me does kind of like I kick myself, because I didn't try to get into this way earlier because I was just so shy and didn't think that I would be able to do something like that. So I just kind of like put it to the back burner. And eventually, after I got a certain age, I was like, I just stopped giving a fuck. I'm like, you know what? Let's just do it. And if I fail, whatever. Like, at least I tried it.
I
Um,
mean, yeah, absolutely. You have the benefit of coming back to it with more confidence in yourself and more hindsight. So you
right.
might have not been ready for it back then, and that's absolutely okay.
That's true. Like, did you end up going to school for art?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So I have a master's degree in comics and graphic novels,
I didn't
which
even know you could do that. That's so cool.
it was a very unique degree. They don't offer it in my country anymore. The university where I went to stopped funding it, but I was
Oh my
lucky
God.
enough to be able to do it. Slap bang in the middle of the pandemic, but I met
Ooh.
some amazing people. It was a shame because we didn't get to have like the usual like portfolio review interactions where they bring like industry artists and writers in to review your work. And I think I was in a very strange place mentally then, but I'm still like absolutely glad I did that degree. I'd done animation on the lead up to that, and then I just went straight for the master's because comics had always been close to my heart because I just feel it's very visual like film is. So they're
Right.
very closely entwined.
I know I've said this before, but I really like your art because like even if you're not drawing comics, it has that kind of comic look to it. And if I were like not poor, I would totally I would totally like pay for you to make something for me because I love your style. It's so cool.
Oh, right. Thank you so much.
One of my favorite things to this day that you did was when you painted like the thing for Joker's Wild. It was like a poster looking thing. I'm like, I want this in my house. Like that's so cool.
Thank you. That was a lot of fun to do. That was in a very manic creative phase, I would say. I think it's easy when you work in a creative industry to go through like very high peaks and very, very low troughs. Like there's times where I just don't feel like drawing at all, but I'm invested in something else creative. And I think sometimes that's like things aren't always going to go how you expect them to. Like maybe you don't go to drama school or acting school or art school specifically. Maybe it's something you come into later life. Maybe it's an obsession you pick up, randomly one day again, or like something you put down. But I think what matters is when you keep picking it up and keep sort of going at it with that curiosity is what matters. And, it's about satisfying, like in here, in your heart. That sounds so cheesy, but that's how I
No,
try to look at
n
it.
no, but I agree with that, and I've that's kind of what I've heard from everybody that's ever kind of given me advice about any kind of creative thing. Anybody that I've known that's been in any kind of artistic industry is that like everybody's journey is different. I think what really matters is just the fact that you're pursuing it. Like somebody was like, like I don't really know if I'm like an artist or something, or I don't know if I'm really count as like a writer because like I'm not professional or blah blah blah. And the person was like, well, is it the first thing that you think of when you wake up in the morning and the last thing you think of when you go to bed at night? Because if that's the case, then you are a writer. And so that's what I think about with acting is that it is what I think about. Quite like 90% of the time. And so I feel like that should count for something. And I'm hoping that passion and drive will get me somewhere. I don't know where, just anywhere.
Absolutely. It definitely matters when you find yourself circling back to it all the time. And I think that's when it sort of sets in like, yeah, I've got to do something with this.
We're we're all on this journey together of just like trying to make a living doing our passions. And like, I love being in a creative field so much, but sometimes it just sucks because it's like, it's so difficult sometimes because it's like, I remember, I don't know who I was talking to, somebody on the show where I was like, why couldn't I have like a normal like passion or dream so that I could have like a normal job and like make money and I wouldn't have to worry about money all the time? Like, why couldn't I just want to be like, like, I want to grow up and be a welder and then I could just go be a welder and then I'd have no problems with money. But instead, I'm like, I'm going to be in this field that's so hard to get into.
Creative industries are quite brutal to sort of break into, but at the end of the day, as long as you have a way to support yourself and like you're still sort of pursuing the dream, like satisfying what's in here, you celebrating each little milestone and going, well, great, what can I do next? I think
Right.
that's helped my perspective a lot. Um, it, yeah, you do get really low points, but
Right.
it's, finding the next sort of baby step upwards that feels really rewarding in the long term, I think. Like, I don't know where I'll end up, but I just know
Right.
it's something that's worth pursuing. And yeah, I think you do as well. Like you talk so passionately about it.
Like, well, actually, stepping to acting. Um, like what kind of are your goals in becoming an actress? Like what are some kind of things that you would really love to do? I've seen some of the work like the kind of like shorts that you've done of like um really kind of like drama centered. Is that something that you would really want to keep doing or would you want to do horror? Because I know you are a fan of horror.
Oh, absolutely. I'd love to do a horror film. Well, I am constantly taking lessons and, training just now, just trying to brush up my skills as much as possible. I've just starred in a short film called How to Get Away with Murder that was a lot of fun to film. It was like my first lead role in this sort of like little
Ooh,
production
that's
team
so
we've got together.
cool.
So it was super exciting and it was challenging in a lot of ways as well. I think for my overall goals, I just want to, everybody wants to make a living is like
Right.
in that industry, but I think if I can get to a point where I'm just like proud to have been like part of like really good narratives and stories, and as long as I'm not like bankrupt and living in a cardboard box, I think I'll be pretty happy. Like I want to meet cool people, tell cool stories. It would be nice to
Right.
make some, but that's
You know, you
That's,
know, you never know. Like we both could get to that point, but like you never know. And it's like sometimes you just have to be happy with the fact that it's like I've made a cool thing.
ab
I was part of a cool thing. Um,
absolutely.
but yeah, like I would love to not like, be living in a car or in a box somewhere. So
Yeah,
it's like, yeah,
let's not get to that point.
let's not
We
get to
can
that point. But I don't get a lot of opportunities to be in drama, and that is something that I think that I really would want to do if I got a chance because uh I don't know if it's like the fact that I'm autistic or if I have some other kind of mental thing that I'm not aware of, but I've always had kind of my emotions like on my sleeves, and I'm kind of like able to access them like very quickly, which is why I'm able to like cry on cue. And I don't know why. I couldn't even explain like how, but I've been able to do it since I was a child. And my mom um got very pissed when she found that out because she's like, that was fake. Because like because like one time I like fake cried to like get something. And she's like, I didn't even know you could do that. And so like I've always been able to do it. It's very strange. But like it's been extremely helpful in acting because I can really like get in there easier. But like I guess just because of the way I look, I don't have a very I said this to somebody else. I don't have a very cliche like leading lady type look. So I don't get callbacks for those types of roles. And I kind of don't want them, but at the same time, like I would love to do drama. And it's like the drama usually calls for, people who look like you, people who are, you know, like attractive and normal.
you are attractive and normal looking, but
Just, I mean, comparatively speaking.
a thing that really helped me with that when I was sort of first, sort of, I mean, everybody that wants to be an actor or get into the industry of film kind of has that sort of flashing light in their head that's like, I don't know, there's like so many people wanting to do this, so many people that are more successful, like as you said, like someone younger, prettier, cooler, more attractive is gonna, get the edge over me, someone with connections. And that may be true, but a lot of it is really good PR. And I had this discussion with my really good acting teacher who's like worked in this industry as well. And yes, it is very superficial, but so much of it is like fluff pieces designed to make them look like the exception and act like the exception. So the people that are the best at it sort of buy into this sort of mystique, so to speak.
Mm.
And that has pros and cons. It's very fascinating and very cerebral rather, when you get into it. It's very interesting to think about.
What um draws you to horror?
Is like an anxious person. Like I hated horror when I was a child. I couldn't go near it, although I
Me
had
too.
this kind of like morbid fascination with it. I think in some ways it's like a self-soothing thing. It's weird. I think some of the best stories I've ever read, seen, heard are horror stories just because they can evoke like such deep fear, but then when you manage to get through it at the end, you're kind of like, that wasn't all that bad.
What are some of your favorite horror as far as books go, but also as far as movies go? What are some of your favorite horror things?
Um, I'm drawn to things that are grotesque but also pretty. Um, One film I'll always bring up that probably kick-started my journey where it all began was Eyes Without a Face or Les Yeux Sans Visage. I'm sorry if anyone French is watching. I'm so sorry for that pronunciation.
It sounded right to me, so we'll just go with that.
Um, but yeah, because the story, but also the visuals were very powerful and compelling in that film. It's just so like heart-wrenching and horrible. But then you're like, oh, but this is gorgeous as well.
Mhm.
And I didn't know horror could really become that until that point. I was like, this is like something very special. Um, then I kind of got into like the sort of cookier stuff. I've got quite an eclectic taste that's kind of all over the place now, but I'd say that's sort of the root of it all. And I think it reflects a little in my artwork as well at times. Um, at least in here, I don't know how it comes across to other people who are seeing, you know, things come out in the page. But
So what are your other like I want to hear about your kooky eclectic taste. What are some of the other things you
uh,
like?
well, Frankenhooker is like a comfort movie for me.
I still and I haven't I feel so bad because I haven't seen either one of those movies and I know that I should because I've heard good things about Eyes Without a Face and Frankenhooker. Frankenhooker I just like I'm kind of drawn to it just based off of like the bright colors like visually I like the way that it really looks. Um please continue.
Yeah, obviously, like your classic ones like Pan's Labyrinth and things, those are like visually stunning
Oh,
as well.
I love Pan's Labyrinth.
I know that's kind of fantasy, like dark fantasy, but I kind of count it. I count it.
It kind of is it's a little bit I think just based off the fact that it's kind of about the horror of humanity more than anything else of like it being in the middle of the war and like the main bad guy just being like a human man who's just like a complete asshole and doesn't care like the horrible things he does. So like that counts as horror. It's like horror
Oh,
fantasy kind of thing.
yeah, Kronos as well was.
Nat, people keep giving me lists of things that I need to watch every time I talk to somebody. And I'm gonna have to start writing these down. Well, this is probably a stupid question. I was going to ask, are you a fan of slasher movies? But I know that you're a
I,
fan of some slasher movies.
yeah, I enjoy quite a bit of them. Yes,
Yeah.
it's we've both met some slasher icons. So
Right. So I met Robert Englund. It was a million years ago. It was a million years ago. I had the worst haircut I've ever had in my life when I met him, which I still look back on and like shudder because I have a picture with him, but I hate showing it to people because I'm like, just ignore my hair. Because I don't know what came over me. Decided to cut my own bangs. Never cut your own bangs unless you like really know what you're doing. Um,
I got my own bangs.
no, and see, yours are fine though. Yours are fine. The problem with mine is like I kept cutting them, and so they got too short, and I was like, oh shit. Because if you get them too short, you can't, there's nothing you can do. So I kind of wish that I hadn't got a picture with him because I was like, now there's like photographic evidence of this really awful haircut. But like I'm glad that I met him. Obviously I met David. I'm glad that I met David. I really hope that I get to go to a convention next year because like it's things are so everything I want to do is so expensive. I want to go to a horror convention. I would like to go to several, but I also want to go to what is it called? The Halloween Horror Nights at Universal
That
because
would be so cool. Yeah.
it looks really would love to make that happen because they keep bringing back Terrifier and I'm scared that if I wait another year they're not going to have Art the Clown and that's going to make me really sad. I have to go to Halloween Horror Nights. Which is crazy for me to say because as much as I like horror, I very much don't like people jumping out at me. So I don't know if I would survive that. Like I
I
could,
feel bad for the scare actors. Like, how often do they get swung at, like out of reflex?
right. I wonder how often that has happened at Universal because they get really, I don't know, like I know there are certain haunted houses where like there's like a rule of like they can only get so close to you.
But I remember years and years ago, I had went a trip to York with my best friend, and we decided to do the Yorkshire dungeons. So it's a kind of a thing they have all over, where it's kind of a dark historical education, if you will, like an experience where they put you through and they'll like tell you about like the hangings and like witch trials and like gruesome
Oh,
stuff that used to take
oh
place.
goodness.
And like they have sort of actors obviously going around. And I swear to God, I remember the narrator, he was like going, he had like this big speech about hangings and stuff, and like all the lights went out, and you could hear like the rafters dropping and like the sound of like someone's neck being like,
Oh my
and then
God.
like the lights came back on, and he was
Oh
like
no.
this close to my face. I was like,
Oh
oh
no.
Christ, like no, no thanks. But it's a
Oh,
lot
I
of
don't
like
like that at
sort of
all.
environment sounds. I'm like, if he was allowed to get that close to like spook me when the lights come on, what about the
That's
other guys in the haunted
I know that's
houses? Like,
terrifying. That's terrifying. My friend used to go to all these different, she would just like find random ones that she had never heard of. And she went to one haunted house where they told you ahead of time that they were allowed to touch you. Like you had to sign a
w-
waiver, which I don't like. I'm like, okay, if we're getting into territory of like, I feel like we're crossing personal boundaries. But she said that there was some point where she was walking upstairs, but they were like those stairs where you can like see through to
the
like underneath
slats
the little
and
slats. Yes. So she said she was walking up in these very high heels because that's exclusively what she wears. And she said somebody grabbed her ankle from underneath the stairs. And she said, I panicked and stomped their hand with my
oh,
It's like I feel bad for the scare actor, but at the same time, why are we grabbing people? Get that they don't get that crazy at Universal, but they do follow you around. I actually like that they have like walk around people now because I think that's genius. The walk around Art the Clown, the fact that they like let him go into the restaurants and into the stores is hilarious to me
it must
because
be a really cool job. With
right.
its dangers, but yes, it must be
Yes.
very cool.
And I wonder how much I always wonder, like, I wonder how much they get paid for that. And somebody's like, I wonder if they work on commission because, like, all the videos I had seen of like Art the Clown in like the shops or whatever, he would always like guide people to the Terrifier merchandise and then start handing them stuff and then just point to the register. And I'm like, does he get paid extra if they buy things? Because
I mean,
it's
it's a bold marketing
I
strategy. You
really
can't go wrong there.
because what are you gonna say? No, because he'll just glare at you until you go to the register. It's the funniest. I can't wait because like my favorite things from last year when they had Art the Clown was everybody's videos because everybody had gotten like such great footage of like him interacting with people and like some of the actors, man, were so spot on. It was like eerie. It's like, what did they do with these performers to make them so spot on? I was like, did they just like strap them to a chair and be like, watch all the Terrified films, pay attention to every single movement and facial expression that he does. This is what you're gonna do.
Just gonna say I've met some like really amazing arts on the con circuit as well. Another David V. I'm I'm not sure how you pronounce his surname, but David V. And Nick Calabrese, I've seen is always cosplaying not just art, but like different variations of art, which I find quite funny.
Yes.
So
Yes, no, because I follow Nick and I follow a couple of other people as well. But yes, there are some that are so like they do the face and everything very well. And I love when people get like super creative with like they'll have like the costume be different. Like I don't know if it was Nick or somebody else, but there was somebody where he was like wearing a suit, like a white suit, but he had like the art face makeup.
this smooth criminal art. Yeah.
Right. It was so interesting. I love when people get creative with their cosplays. But yes, I've seen, oh my gosh, some amazing cosplayers. There was a couple of them, but there was one person actually when I was at the first day I was there for Days of the Dead last year, there was a really good art cosplayer um who was just walking around and like honking his horn at people, which was hysterical. Um because the more irritated they would get with it, the more he would do it.
I think that's the best thing about the art cosplayers. You hear them
I
before
know.
you see them.
I don't know what year this was. This was so long ago, but I was it was the year that Christopher Nolan's The Dark Knight came out, and I
Oh,
had a Joker. cosplay that I literally put together from different people's clothing that I already had. And I got a makeup kit that it was like these scars prosthetics that you glue right here and right here. But like that was my first experience. They looked fantastic. That was the first time that I ever dressed up as a clown, and I actually managed to scare a couple of people. That was the greatest thing ever. Because a lot of people did not know that it was me. Because I wasn't dressed like a female version of the Joker. I was just dressed like the Joker. So like nobody knew that it was me. I had the wig, I had like all the facial stuff on, and then I wore like a suit kind of similar to what he did in the movies. And I just kind of like lurked around my yard on Halloween, and I scared like fully grown men. And I'm still riding that high. I'm hoping one day again I will be able to scare a grown man because let me tell you, it's the greatest feeling in the world. But I just thought it was hilarious because I'm about the least scary person ever. That actually reminds me that fingers crossed that this does happen. As far as I know where to go, but I am going to be a killer clown in something that is coming up. Um I don't know when it will be released, but we are filming next month, and
That is so
it's
exciting.
for a horror short film. And I was like, this is gonna be, this is my one of my dream roles. Like I want to be a heroine. I want in a horror movie. I want to die in a horror movie. I want to be a villain in a horror movie. Those are my goals. If I can do any of those in any order, like before I die, I will be happy. So I know that you told me that you had um a short film that you just did, which is very
Yeah.
exciting. Are there any other projects or things that you have coming up that anybody should know about?
Um, Not that I can really talk about at the moment.
Gotcha.
Stuff that's going to be like filming. Because yeah, it's just good to keep like doing things. I try to update my like showreel as much as possible, but the short film How to Get Away with Murder will be coming out soon. I believe we'd sort of teased little snippets here or there.
Yeah.
Um yeah, it's all but like very new for us, but it's a lot of fun and it was a lot of learning and on the go as well, like just sort of adapting to like there's like some sensitive like things touched upon in the script and I'm just like hoping we handled it like well. So like there's that aspect to it and there was a few like technical aspects as well that were like really hard to coordinate mental. What's going on with my
Oh,
lighting? Hello? Why am I lighting up? Okay,
you all of a sudden got so bright.
whoa.
It's
Yeah.
like the heavens shone upon you for like no reason at all, just all of a sudden. But no,
Just like, yes, let's talk about the short. Let's go.
it was a
Um,
sign. Yes.
yes, there was a really difficult technical shot where
Oh.
it's the illusion that me and my co-star are looking into a mirror, but
Oh.
we're looking directly, well, almost directly into the camera, but we had to coordinate where we were looking
Yes.
specifically to, make it look like we're like looking at ourselves.
I have seen little teases of it, and I will be on the lookout for it because I can't wait to see it. Are there any, because I know when was the last convention that you went to? Because didn't you go to one not that long ago, or am I crazy?
Yes, I'm just back from Flashback Weekend in Chicago.
Yes,
So,
that was the one. Okay. Are there any upcoming conventions that you're going to?
not right now, but I'm spying a few.
Okay.
I like to keep tabs and see, because you guys do have the monopoly on the conventions. We do have them here in the
Right.
UK, but
Right.
not to the scale of what you guys have. You guys have a special knack for it. You guys have been doing it longer. You guys have a system. And I like
Right.
when I can scrape enough together, I love to come over and experience that.
I know, because I would love for you to come to like another convention over here, but also to come like to sell your work. so that people could see like how talented you are, which I'm sure they
Oh,
already do because of like online and stuff. And I know that you told people you are doing what is the word I'm looking for? The thing
commissions?
commissions. My God. So I've been trying to retweet that, repost that as much as I can because I hope you
I
get some business because I am poor. I like to support my friends as much as I can, but I have no money. And when I do have money, I will give it to all of my friends.
You should treat yourself first.
I know, but that's
You
what I
gotta
want to
treat
do.
yourself.
Treat yourself. I know. I try to treat myself. Literally, I was looking at something earlier and I was like, do I need this? But I do want to treat myself. They made a pink with sequins all over it. Um Art the Clown costume for girls. And it is or for women rather. It is the coolest looking thing and it would look fantastic with my hair. And I have just been eyeing it for like the past couple of weeks. So it's in my cart. I'm just trying to decide if I want to buy it because I'm like, it's kind of expensive, but it's pink. It's pink though. Oh, if I won the lottery, my first thing to do would just be like be able to like give money to the people that need money and then kind of like work on and everything else. I'm like, see, this is why people like us should be rich because we would actually like help other people with it, unlike some of other dumb fuck people that are in charge of stuff. Anyway, I'm gonna stop before I get in trouble.
It's
Um,
it's a whole big thing. Like,
it's a
yeah,
whole yeah.
people like us wouldn't hoard the wealth, but that's why we wouldn't stay like billionaires for long.
I
But
think,
that
but
I think that's an ethical thing to do. But
right.
yeah,
I think it's worth it. I think there shouldn't be billionaire. I like to think they just kind of hoard it in a cave like Smaug from The Hobbit, and they just kind of lay in it. Because I
that's
don't
what
know.
they do with stocks and shares, and they accumulate more wealth.
Right.
But yeah,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
just it's all hoarded and I'm like, I don't, what do we do? Because you can't take it with you. So what are we doing that for? You could be helping people with that, but that's a whole nother that's a whole nother discussion. You've my first interview since I interviewed David, so congratulations.
That's big shoes
That's
to fill.
that's I know. I still can't believe that. I actually haven't watched it over. Like I kind of watched bits of it because I had to edit the video because believe it or not, it was actually longer. But it's so surreal because if you would have told me like last year that I would be interviewing him, I would say that you were insane. But it was so weird because it wasn't like it became less like an interview and more like a conversation, which is what I wanted this show to be, and that's what most of them turn into is we just end up having a conversation. And I told him the next time I see him and Jada, I need to bring them present. Don't I know people say don't get them gifts, but it's become such a thing now at conventions where people will bring people gifts at their table. And I feel like I kind of feel obligated to do it now. I know that not everybody does it, but I'm like, is that what you're supposed to do now? And would it be weird if I
I kind of looked into this when I was first sort of starting to meet my heroes, so to speak. And this year I'd made like tiny little canvases to gift. And I asked the handlers beforehand, so I like, I was just like, listen, I have this to gift them. Is this okay? Like, this won't be too big for them to carry. It's not going to be a nuisance, right? And it was like, so, something like small. I'm at
uh
this weird stage just now where like I'm obviously going to conventions and like meeting these people I admire,
mm-hmm.
but I'm also like wanting to sort of break into that industry and like, have
Right.
a career. So it's kind of like I don't want to be that awkward fan, but here's this, and it feels like I'm holding up the equivalent of like, like a macaroni stuck
Oh
together picture, and I'm like,
no, it's
this is
not a
for
macaroni.
you.
It's
And,
not a
and
macaroni picture. It's not. Your
that's
stuff
it. That's
is
what it
so
feels like
good.
sometimes. It's like this is my art,
I
and
made
then
this
like
for you.
I made this for you, and then I just don't bring up acting at all because I feel like I would just die inside. And we're like, oh really?
No, like I felt the same way because I was like, I want to be an actress, but it's like you feel weird like bringing it up. And then it's like I don't want them to remember me of being like this super nervous, like strange person. So like I totally get that. And like I still do want to meet these people, but it's like I also would like to work with some of these people. So it's like I don't know how to,
Yeah,
know.
that's what I silently think to myself. Like someday I want to work with you or like people like you, and then I'm just like,
Right. I know
because
it's like
they are just people. But I think
right.
when they have this mystique built up of them, and like you obviously like admire the qualities you see in them and want to emulate
Right.
yourself, it can be really hard mentally to sort of bring yourself down. But
Right. And I
you know, like
think
I'll still have a little scream of excitement at the odd
right,
thing
because it's like
that's
it's hard and I know I've had so many people tell me that of like, they're just a person. And it's like it's so weird to it's like my brain doesn't know how to like accept the fact or like um deal with the fact that like somebody that I've watched on a television is in front of
you're all good. It's a joy to speak to you again.
it's nice to speak to you again and I hope that I get to like meet you again because I know like we're in two completely different parts of the world and I would love for you to come over here but also don't come over here. It's not it's a where everything's on fire. It's horrible. Nobody wants to be here. I hate it. Somebody needs to come save us. But like, if you do come, just just don't stay. It's not we just it's not good over here. I've always wanted to go over there. The only reason I don't have a passport is again money because I'm poor. So like, hopefully I can get one day because there's so many places in the world that I would love to go to. I think if I went to where you were, I'd probably just stay there. Because it just
A
it's
lot of people have been telling me that. A lot of my US friends have been saying, "Oh, I'd love to move to Scotland." I'm like,
I mean, it just looks so lovely over there. And compared to, listen though, comparatively, what we've got going on over here, that looks incredible over there. Because like we're
You guys be looking at pictures of like castles and cobbled streets.
well, I mean, I know that they're not all cat. I know there's other parts of Scotland. I know it's not all like that. Whole US has become just an absolute, I know I keep saying the phrase dumpster fire, but it is. It's like if you literally took a dumpster and lit it on fire, that is where we are currently.
You have some like amazing people there, like just oh God, I just miss them so much.
I can't wait to see you again and I hope that we get to like meet at a convention again and I can buy some of your art because I
Mm.
really want to. Or get a commission from you because I really love your art style. But I am going to let you go and I will try to edit this and get it up as soon as possible. It may not be till tomorrow or
No worries, don't have
tomorrow.
no rush. Just take it at your own pace. Be cozy, be cool. You got this.
Yeah.
And all the best out there and on your auditions. Bye.
Oh, well, you too. I can't wait to see some of your work and I can't wait to see where both of us end up going. And we don't know where we're going, but we're going somewhere. So
Yeah,
it'll
it's
be
the exciting
good.
part.
That's the exciting part. But cheers. I love you so much and I will talk to you later.
Bye.